flying is great. You can easily get through the no-hassle TSA staffed by the friendliest employees out there. You can check in with no wait ever, and bags are totally not lost all the time. But there is one problem. Flights are expensive. Really, really expensive. Obviously, it's much faster than driving somewhere, but sometimes it's hard to determine whether it's actually worth the benefits.
Good evening, folks. Welcome aboard Southwest Airlines Flight 372, service to Oklahoma City.
In the age of price-fixing airlines and big fees just to fly, a new type of experience was created. It's called the low-cost carrier. These airlines like Spirit and Frontier purposely leave out the luxuries of flying, like having a complimentary checked bag, or refreshments, or space between that guy next to you. You might not like that, but that's kind of the point.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
These airlines are built to have nothing you don't need. That way the prices of those things can be taken out of your ticket price, and if you want them you can pay extra, but if you don't, you can get a really good deal to fly somewhere pretty nifty. One of the most successful discount airlines is Ryanair in Europe. The way they can continue to be so cheap is a pretty interesting mix of things. First of all, they have a lot of planes, so they aren't as impacted as, say, WOW Airlines would be if, just a hypothetical situation here, they decide to buy huge planes with money they don't have, and then oil prices go up. Ryanair also doesn't go to the main airports in big cities. They don't have flights in America, but if they did, they wouldn't fly out of LaGuardia or JFK in New York, but they would probably strike a deal with a smaller airport like Teterboro, where they could become one of the only airlines there, and get some good incentives from the airport for bringing in business. Low-cost airlines also just have the same type of planes, fewer and less trained employees, no connections, simpler seats, and a bunch of other things different from normal airlines. I'm sure you get the point. They're pretty cheap in how they function. And this can be super effective and generate a lot of money. But you can also do it wrong and lose everything.
Air Berlin was forced into insolvency last month.
American Airlines, once the nation's largest carrier, filed for bankruptcy today.
Italy's loss-making airline Alitalia is on the brink of bankruptcy for the second time in a decade.
You might have heard about WOW Airlines. People were left stranded in many foreign places after the company went bust in the middle of the day and then just said, well, I guess we had a good run. Then they turned off the lights and told everyone to just go home.
It's over. We are screwed.
Except there was one problem. A big problem. They were thousands of people's ride home. So you can imagine people were pretty mad. I guess that's what you get for paying $99 for your flight to Iceland.
It's illegal and it's just awful.
A friend of mine actually texted me an article about WOW, and we were driving to the airport.
Like you were saying, so you've heard nothing from WOW at all? Anything about getting your money back, or? No.
When I first heard about this, I was intrigued. I mean, how could an airline who has tons of people going on it every day just go out of business? Weren't they making money and didn't they have investors? Well, sometimes and a few. But it's not all about that. Budget airlines have to have everything click to be able to survive longer than a couple of years. They have to be able to withstand fees and nobody booking trips or just the fluctuation of oil prices. This is the step that separates the successes and the flops. Ryanair, for example, bought 150 discounted planes right after 9/11, which let them get power and influence over the market. And if they needed an extra plane, they would have one. WOW Airlines, on the other hand, had only 10 planes when they stopped operating. Wow! You can just imagine what would happen if one of those planes had an issue. That's 1/10 of your profit going away. And when something like that doesn't click, you could be in really big trouble.
Oh my god! Wow!
WoW had pretty much everything going wrong. They had market share and they had airplanes. But those planes weren't profiting very much or at all. Oil prices were increasing and their small fleet couldn't take the burden atop their recent order of new big bodies and their $150 million pile of debt. They were trying to be acquired by Iceland Air, but after that fell through, the whole company caved in too, and everything just stopped. It was abrupt. Some predicted it, but not the people on the flights. It was like an abrupt movie ending. Nothing made sense, people were mad, and they wanted their money back.
Thousands of travelers were stranded today at airports from Detroit to Tel Aviv when the bargain airline WOW shut down without any warning.
All of this happening just made me wonder, is it possible to actually run a budget airline without it exploding in your face? Kind of. You really have to just be at the right place at the right time. Something can go wrong and flip everything upside down. WOW Airlines spent too much money and didn't have a big fleet, which really hurt them when oil prices rose. Another low-cost carrier like Southwest was able to survive rising oil prices because they have a huge fleet of over 700 planes and more money backing them up. The two airlines aren't the same, but it's a similar idea. So really, budget airlines are like any other business. You have to jump on opportunities as they show themselves, and if something is even slightly wrong, it might ruin the whole future of your business. And that is just budget airlines. But there's still a whole nother world of risk and I guess fun of making an airline. Running a business is hard enough, but running an airline is a business where everything is amplified. It takes way more to start, but you can also get a lot out of it really quickly. But in the same way that the guy next to you takes your space, your money will go to the same place if there's any problems. So if you want to have a no-risk life where you just sit on the beach every day and watch your money accumulate, your best bet probably isn't in starting an airline. But luckily, nobody's forcing you to do that. So right now, just get some popcorn and watch some of my other videos. Oh yeah, and also subscribe. I'm like Netflix, but for free. Can't pass that up. Thanks for your watch time. See you later.